There are certain moments in life when time seems to breathe differently. When the world grows quiet, and even the air feels new. When something inside you stirs, almost like a memory. You're not quite sure of what, or when, or why. But you feel it. You feel something waking up. For many people, this moment happens right at the beginning of the year. Not on the night of December 31st, and not when fireworks paint the sky, but in the quieter hours that follow. When you're standing in a doorway, or taking a slow morning breath, or simply noticing how the light falls differently on January days. This is the moment the new year truly begins. Not in the calendar, but in your heart. And that subtle awakening? That soft, curious feeling you can't fully name? That is the voice of your inner child. The part of you that still believes in wonder. The part that sees beginnings with hope, not pressure. The part that remembers how to start fresh, not through discipline, but through imagination. Welcome to the New Year of Wonder. Starting fresh with your inner child's heart. This episode is a gentle 3-part journey into rediscovering the small, bright parts of you that adulthood may have dimmed. It is a journey into curiosity, into softness, and into the kind of beginning that doesn't demand anything from you. Only that you show up with honesty. If you stay with me until the end, you will feel something shift. A loosening. A breath you didn't know you were holding. A quiet return to yourself. Part 1 is where the awakening begins. Why the new year feels like returning home. Every new year holds 2 energies. Memory and possibility. Between them lies a space where your inner child lives. As adults, we tell ourselves the new year is about goals, productivity, reinvention. But for a child, beginnings are never about pressure. They're about wonder. Children don't start fresh because they feel behind. They start fresh because they're curious. Because the world feels open. Because there is always something new to explore, to touch, to invent. And somewhere along the way, as we grew older, we lost that spark. We learned to measure ourselves instead of experiencing ourselves. We learned to evaluate our progress instead of celebrating our attempts. We learned to compare, to judge, to rush. But your inner child never stopped believing that beginnings are magic. That newness is beautiful. That fresh starts are sacred. This is why the beginning of a new year awakens something inside your heart. It awakens the child who remembers what wonder feels like. The quiet call of wonder. Wonder is not loud. It doesn't demand your attention. It whispers. It whispers through the cold morning air when you open the window on the first days of January. It whispers through the blank pages of a clean notebook. Through the lightness of a fresh calendar. Through the feeling of letting go of something that has weighed you down for too long. Through the simple desire to feel more alive than you did last year. Your inner child responds to this whisper immediately. Children are fluent in wonder. They know how to notice small things, how to cherish simple joys, how to feel deeply without apology. And every new year, your inner child begins knocking. Softly at first, then louder if you ignore them. The knocking sounds like a desire to rest, a craving for something new, a longing to feel lighter, a curiosity about what's possible, a sudden urge to hope again, a quiet wish for joy, a desire to play, even if you don't use that word anymore. Your inner child is not asking for a new version of you. They are asking you to remember the version of you that once believed in life. Why adults struggle to start fresh. Even though the new year brings promise, many adults feel overwhelmed instead of inspired. You might feel anxiety about expectations, pressure to change, fear of repeating past mistakes, guilt about unfinished goals, numbness instead of excitement, exhaustion from the year that just ended. These feelings are not signs of failure. They are signs of emotional overload. As adults, we carry too much. Responsibilities, disappointments, obligations, grief, guilt, expectations. Your heart becomes so full of what you should be that you forget who you truly are. Children start fresh easily because they don't carry the same weight. Their hearts are light. Their minds are uncluttered. Their emotions move freely. Returning to your inner child's heart is not about becoming childish. It is about becoming emotionally clear. It is about putting down the weight you were never meant to carry. The inner child's way of beginning again. There is a purity in the way a child meets a new beginning. They do not map out every detail. They do not structure their transformation. They do not demand perfection. They don't begin the year with pressure. They begin with presence. They begin simply by being curious. A child starts fresh by asking, "What feels exciting today? What do I want to explore? What makes me feel alive? What do I feel drawn to? What makes my heart open?" A child doesn't worry about doing everything right. They worry about feeling connected. And this is the key to starting fresh as an adult. Connection before achievement. You cannot build a meaningful year if you are disconnected from yourself. Your inner child holds the map to the kind of year your heart needs, not the kind of year your mind believes you must accomplish. This is how your healing begins. The new year as an emotional reset. Most adults try to enter the new year with force. New routines, new expectations, new promises. But life doesn't change because your habits change. Life changes because your inner world changes. A new year is an emotional reset, not a behavioral one. Your inner child asks for reflection, gentleness, space, and honesty. They ask you to notice what hurts, to acknowledge what feels heavy, to release what no longer belongs, to soften where you've been hard on yourself, to tell the truth about your own exhaustion, to admit where you feel disconnected from joy. This is the emotional reset your heart needs before you can move forward. Because your inner child cannot walk into the new year if they are still carrying last year's pain. What this 3-part journey will give you. This episode is not a motivational speech. It is not a list of steps. It is not a push toward action. It is an invitation. An invitation to step into this year with softness, depth, and emotional honesty. An invitation to reconnect with a part of you that still believes in life. An invitation to rediscover wonder, not as a childish fantasy, but as an adult necessity. Here is the journey ahead. Part 1. The awakening, rediscovering wonder. Part 2. The clearing, releasing the emotional weight you carried into the new year. Part 3. The return, stepping into the year with your inner child's heart guiding you. If you stay with me, this journey will give you something no resolution can. A year built on alignment, not pressure. A year built on presence, not perfection. A year built on inner peace, not performance. This is your new year of wonder. Part 2. Clearing the space, releasing what the new year cannot carry. There is a moment in every new beginning when you realize something important. You cannot move forward while carrying the weight that keeps pulling you back. Children understand this instinctively. If something feels heavy, they put it down. If something hurts, they cry. If something no longer brings them joy, they walk away without shame. If their hands are full, they drop what they don't need. Adults, however, do the opposite. We hold everything. We keep it all. We try to push ourselves into the new year with handfuls of unspoken emotions, unseen wounds, unprocessed memories, and unrealistic expectations. But you cannot enter a year of wonder if you are dragging last year's heaviness behind you. Part 2 is the clearing. The emotional release that allows your heart to become light enough to feel new again. This is not the dramatic version of letting go. It is the honest version. The human version. The version that acknowledges why you've been holding so tightly and how to gently let go without forcing yourself. Let's begin. Why the new year brings up old emotions. People blame the holidays for the sudden wave of emotion that appears at the end of the year. But the truth is deeper. The end of a year is a pause. A natural exhale. A place where your heart looks back at what happened, what didn't happen, and what still hurts. Even if you try to pretend you're fine, your inner child feels everything. The disappointments you minimized. The exhaustion you pushed through. The sadness you didn't express. The fears you kept quiet. The hopes you hid from yourself. The self-judgment you swallowed. The moments you felt small. The moments you felt unseen. The moments you stopped believing something better was possible. And so, before the new year begins emotionally, these unresolved pieces rise. Not to overwhelm you, but to be released. Your inner child is tired of carrying things alone. The emotional weight you bring into January without realizing it. Most adults think they are starting the year clean, but emotionally they are not starting fresh. They are continuing from where they left off. Your heart carries old guilt, old anger, old patterns, old disappointments, old coping mechanisms, old self-doubt, old survival instincts, old stories about your worth, old beliefs about love, old fears about failure. The child in you learned to hold these things because there was no one there to help them through it. But you are here now. and the new year is asking you to lighten the load. Let's explore the 5 major emotional weights your inner child cannot carry into this year. 1. The weight of self-blame. Children blame themselves for everything. A parent's mood. A conflict in the home. A lack of affection. An unmet need. A moment of being ignored. A sudden change in someone else's behavior. That belief, "It must be my fault," becomes a lifelong wound. As adults, this self-blame shows up in subtle ways. You apologize for having needs. You stay quiet to avoid conflict. You take responsibility for other people's emotions. You feel guilty resting. You assume being disliked means you did something wrong. You criticize yourself before anyone else can. This belief cannot walk with you into a year of wonder. Your inner child deserves a year where they are not blamed for things they never caused. 2. The weight of perfection. Perfection is not an adult expectation. It is a childhood survival strategy. Children often believe, "If I'm good enough, I'll be loved. If I'm perfect, I won't be rejected. If I perform well, I'll be safe. If I make no mistakes, no one will be upset." Perfection kills wonder. It suffocates joy. It destroys curiosity. It turns life into a test instead of an adventure. You don't need perfection to start fresh. You need permission to try, to explore, to learn to be human. Your inner child doesn't need a perfect year. They need a forgiving one. 3. The weight of old fear. Fear stays lodged in the nervous system long after danger has passed. Fear of love. Fear of failure. Fear of success. Fear of being seen. Fear of being abandoned. Fear of being judged. Fear of not being enough. Fear makes you hesitate at every new beginning. It makes you distrust your own desires. It makes you shrink even when you're ready to expand. But fear does not disappear when you force yourself to be brave. Fear releases when your inner child feels supported. You cannot bully fear out of you, but you can soothe it out of you. 4. The weight of unexpressed emotion. Many of the emotions you carry into the new year aren't new. They're old emotions that never had a chance to be felt. Sadness from years ago. Anger you weren't allowed to show. Loneliness you hid from yourself. Disappointment you didn't want to admit. Grief you were too busy to process. These emotions remain trapped because your inner child never felt safe expressing them. Letting go means letting these feelings exist long enough to soften. A single tear can release years of emotional pressure. A single honest moment can untangle knots you've lived with for decades. Your inner child needs you to feel so they don't have to carry the weight alone anymore. 5. The weight of trying to earn your worth. Perhaps the heaviest burden of all. Children often grow up believing, love must be earned. Approval must be earned. Safety must be earned. Attention must be earned. Connection must be earned. As adults, this becomes overworking, overgiving, over-explaining, overthinking, over-apologizing, over-performing. You exhaust yourself trying to prove something that was always true. You were already enough. Your inner child cannot wonder, cannot play, cannot heal, cannot begin again while believing they must earn their right to exist. This is the weight you must finally put down. How to actually release emotional weight. Letting go is not an intellectual decision. It is an emotional experience. Release happens through awareness, softness, permission, rest, breath, honesty, self-compassion, space, and, most importantly, safety. You cannot let go of what you still feel responsible for. You cannot release what you shame yourself for feeling. You cannot heal what you refuse to acknowledge. Letting go happens when your inner child feels safe in your adult presence. That safety sounds like, you're allowed to rest. You don't have to be perfect. You didn't deserve what happened. You can feel your emotions. You can take your time. You're not alone anymore. This is the foundation of your new year of wonder. Why releasing is necessary before rediscovering wonder. Wonder is light. Wonder is spacious. Wonder is curious. Wonder is hopeful. Wonder is open. Wonder is trusting. You cannot experience any of these qualities while holding emotional weight that keeps you bracing for survival. Wonder requires emptiness. Not a cold emptiness, but a spacious emptiness. Room to breathe. Room to feel. Room to imagine. Room to grow. Releasing is not the ending. Releasing is the clearing. The preparation. The creation of emotional space for something new and beautiful to enter. Your inner child cannot meet you in the new year until you create room for them. And that's what part 3 is for. In part 3, we walk hand in hand into the new year with the heart of your inner child leading you. How to reconnect with your inner child. How wonder becomes a daily practice. How to create a year built on emotional truth. How to protect your peace. How to begin again without fear. How to live with softness, clarity, and connection. Part 3, Returning to Wonder. Walking into the new year with your inner child. There is a moment in every healing journey when the heart shifts. Not suddenly, not dramatically, but in a quiet, unmistakable way. It feels like a softening, a loosening, an ease inside your chest that you cannot explain. It feels like truth. It feels like coming home. This is the moment you've been moving toward. The moment when your inner child steps forward, not in fear, not in pain, but with a gentle curiosity. The curiosity they once had naturally, before life taught them to brace instead of breathe. Part 3 is about returning to that curiosity. It is about reclaiming the sense of wonder you lost along the way. It is about beginning the new year with the heart of the child you once were. The one who knew how to dream without hesitation, how to feel without apology, how to love without fear. This is the new year your inner child has always longed for. Let's walk into it together. What it means to return to your inner child. Most people think inner child work is about revisiting the past. But true inner child healing is about restoring what was never fully lost. Your capacity for wonder. To return to your inner child means to reconnect with qualities you still carry within you, even if you haven't felt them in years. Imagination, curiosity, playfulness, honesty, openness, pure joy, authentic desire, emotional truth. These are not childish traits. These are human traits. And they are necessary for a life that feels meaningful, vibrant, and aligned. Wonder is not immaturity. Wonder is presence. Children live in presence naturally because they have no past to regret and no future to fear. They see what is right in front of them, and they engage with it fully. As an adult, returning to wonder means trusting yourself enough to be present again. Why wonder is essential for the new year. Many people start the new year through discipline. But discipline alone cannot create a fulfilling life. It can shape your habits, but it cannot shape your heart. What your heart needs is wonder. Wonder opens your mind. Wonder softens your fear. Wonder brings you back into your body. Wonder reconnects you with desire, with possibility, with joy. When you allow wonder into your life, the new year doesn't feel like a list of demands. It feels like an invitation. A gentle invitation to create a life that feels good from the inside. A life that feels spacious instead of tight. A life that feels aligned instead of forced. Your inner child holds this kind of wisdom. Not in words, but in energy. And when you reconnect with them, life begins to feel meaningful again. How to start the new year with your inner child's heart. Here are the practices that allow you to walk into the year with wonder. Not theoretical ideas, but emotional shifts your inner child understands immediately. 1. Move with curiosity, not pressure. Curiosity brings joy. Pressure brings fear. Ask yourself each morning, what feels interesting today? What feels inviting? What feels gentle? These kinds of questions open the door for wonder. 2. Let desire guide you just a little more. Children move toward what lights them up. Not what looks impressive. Not what seems logical. But what feels alive. Allow yourself to follow what sparks warmth inside you. Even small sparks matter. 3. Give yourself permission to pause. Children pause naturally. They rest when they're tired. They stop when they lose interest. They breathe freely. You're allowed to do the same. A year of wonder requires space, not speed. 4. Talk to yourself with kindness. Your inner child hears everything you say to yourself. Judgment makes them hide. Compassion makes them bloom. As you enter the new year, soften your inner voice. It will change everything. 5. Let yourself feel joy without questioning it. Adults question joy. Children embody it. Joy is not a reward. You don't have to earn it. Joy is a state of being that your inner child remembers well. Lean into anything that brings warmth into your life. 6. Protect your inner world. Boundaries are not walls. They are gardens. They protect what is delicate. They protect what is blooming. Protect your energy the way you would protect a child's. Because that child still lives within you. The new year becomes a new life when you travel with your inner child. Something changes when you no longer abandon the younger version of you. Your decisions change. Your relationships change. Your self-worth changes. Your emotional world changes. You stop sabotaging yourself. You stop apologizing for your sensitivity. You stop chasing people who don't see your heart. You stop pretending you don't care. You stop delaying your own healing. You start living again. Your inner child brings life back to your life. They bring color back to your days. Softness back to your mind. Lightness back to your body. Possibility back to your path. This is the gift of wonder. A gift you deserved long before you grew up. A soft invitation for your year ahead. Before we enter the outro, I want to leave you with something gentle. You do not need to become a new person this year. You only need to come home to yourself. When you travel with your inner child, you do not reinvent who you are. You remember who you were before the world taught you to shrink. This is your year of returning. Your year of opening. Your year of reconnecting. Your year of wonder. Take your inner child's hand. Step forward. And let this year begin inside of you, not outside. Before we close this episode, I want to offer you something that can support you more deeply on this journey. I've created a free book called Coming Home for the Holidays, A Gentle Inner Child Awakening. Even though the holidays have passed, the healing inside it is timeless. It will guide you through soft, meaningful reflections and emotional exercises that reconnect you with your inner child in a way that feels natural, comforting, and deeply supportive. If this episode made you feel seen, soothed, or understood, this book will take you even further. You can download it through the link in the description. It is my gift to you. A doorway back to yourself. If this episode touched you, if it softened you, comforted you, or helped you return to your own wonder, please take a moment to support this work. Subscribe to the channel so you can receive future episodes like this. Like the video so it can reach someone who needs gentle guidance. Share it with someone you care about. A friend, a sibling, a partner, anyone who might be quietly hurting or quietly searching for inner peace. Your support helps this message find the people who need it most. Thank you for listening. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for choosing wonder over fear, softness over pressure, and connection over self-abandonment. This is your new year of wonder. Your year of beginning again. Your year of starting fresh with your inner child's heart. And I'm honored to walk beside you.